All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the UnCut Report. Today, our guest is John Charleston and Cecily Wright. They are the heads of the Spokane and Northwest Grassroots. And of course, as usual, we are joined by Mike for Spokane, the one and only Mike Noter. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit more about, Grassroots? How did you guys start this thing and what are you about?
Well, how did we start this? We're going back about 9 years. I was sitting on the couch, Envision Spokane came on, and we went, what in the world is going on here in Spokane? And as a Ron Paul supporter, I Googled on Ron Paul Spokane and found the meetup group and signed up. And the next day I was at some vaccination presentation with a guy named Chris Bass and some crazy-looking woman and not a whole lot of people. And I got up, and there was a guy pacing in the back, and I went up to him, and I said, what else are you guys doing? And it was Rob Chase. So that was my introduction, and we just got involved from there. And I'd say over the next month or so, I remember Sheriff Matt came to the racetrack out in Idaho. We went and saw that event, and the audio was really funky, and I volunteered to start doing audio for everybody, and we did that, and then it was we did a couple of events like that, and we went and visited all the groups that were local here to meet people and understand who they were. I think there were, what, Cecily, 17
there were
groups?
many groups back then, and they were all separate, and it really seemed not functional. So really what happened for us was that, as I said, there were many groups, but they were pretty small, and they were getting tired of doing what they were doing. And so they were sort of falling off and just not being that active anymore. But what I found through all of this that we were doing is I just found out that I needed to learn a lot. And so if I needed to learn a lot, I figured most everybody else needed to also. And so the real focus of Northwest Grassroots was education. Mm-hmm. And how could we bring issues that are pertinent today to as many people as possible? And then how did we get in the situation that we're in today? What happened? The foundation, the founding fathers, the Constitution, the whole foundation of the United States is pretty darn cool. Mm-hmm. So how did it go from how it started to where it is today? Uh-huh. So that's been a lot of what we've worked on also. Mm-hmm. And just to have people realize that, if we don't stay vigilant, it's very easy to have this just all slip away. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's the focus of Northwest Grassroots. Yeah. Movie night with Grassroots, we call it. The reason we do new movie night is because, like I said, we were learning, or at least I was learning. And so it was my job to trace down documentaries that would educate. So we let the documentaries do the educating because, hey, we all needed to be brought up to speed and things that way. And John says it's been 9 years now. So, some programs I do all the content, but we usually do try about 7:00 to go into a presentation that will be an hour to an hour and a half. So it could be a documentary, or like this month's program was all on, I was going to do it on DACA. Well, you can't do anything on just DACA because it was a continuing resolution. It was DACA, it was immigration, it was the Dreamers. And so it really ended up being a big program and a lot of studying and how do you get that capsulized and presented in a short period of time. So it's evolved, but I do like it when I find a good documentary and can just sit back and watch.
Mm-hmm. Right.